Hello, everyone. With us today, we have Dr. Yael Dubin. Thank you for coming and being with us today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. As you said, my name is Dr. Yael Dubin. I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I have a long history and background of acquiring tons of different skills that I bring to this whole endeavor.
That's amazing. So, could you tell us a little bit about your own dating history and what brought you to be a dating and relationship coach?
I certainly can. And I think my own dating history is just testimony to the fact that no matter how far off the rails you've ever gotten, you can get things back on the right track. I had a history of dating one of two types of people, either addicts or narcissists. I was married to 13 years for somebody with a lot of narcissistic tendencies. And I don't, if anyone out there has experience with narcissists, you're probably aware that they have a bit of a scorched earth policy at the time of a breakup. They don't just want to end the relationship, or they don't tolerate you ending the relationship. They want to end you. They really go after you with a vengeance. So the divorce was also pretty ugly. And I had decided I never wanted to get married again because I didn't think I could survive another round of that. I didn't think I could handle another marriage like that. And I didn't think I could recover from another divorce like that. And I was really committed to never getting married again for about 16 years after my divorce. I was pretty bitter. It was pretty rough for me. And then things changed when I watched the TV show Schitt's Creek. I don't know if you're familiar with this show or not, but it is delightful. In this show, David and Patrick fall in love. And if you're familiar with it, if any of you listeners out there know it, you might think that I'm thinking about the scene, the open mic episode where Patrick serenades David. And that's not the episode that really did it for me. It was the episode where they argued, because that argument was beautiful. It was like no other argument I'd ever had. They stood still loving each other and arguing from this place of love and vulnerability rather than tearing each other down. It was amazing. And I knew that was what I wanted. I knew that I wanted a partner that I could argue like that with, where I could still be connected to them, even during conflict. And once I had that image in my head, I had a pretty clear idea that I needed help making it happen, because I had become super skilled at messing it up, super skilled at dating to create distance, at keeping people away. And I had lost the capacity to really let my guard down and let someone in, feel close to them. So I hired a dating coach. And like I said, I'd been a psychiatrist for a while. My first exit strategy had been to do life coaching back in 2005. When I hired this dating coach, I realized all she was doing was the basic coaching package, but applied to dating. And it blew my mind, because I thought a couple things. One is, I had these skills, why wasn't I using them? And the second thing was, I have even more to offer. Then I was able to supplement what she offered because I had this history myself. And what really sealed the deal for me wanting to be a dating coach was falling in love with my current husband, Matt. There was a conversation. We were together for like 3 or 4 months. We were falling deeply in love with each other. And he let me know how hard it had been for him to be looking for me, how he had almost given up. He had been looking for 5 years for somebody just like me. And it blew my mind, because as a woman, nobody ever tells you there's someone out there looking for you.
Right.
They tell you you need to be thinner, you need to be taller, you need to be richer, you need to have the hair, the makeup, the nails, you need to be more submissive, more strong. You need to be something other than what you are.
Right.
You need to be younger, which of course you can't do. You need to be all these things that you're not. And nobody says, sweetheart, someone's out there looking for exactly who you are. And until you get the clarity and courage to put yourself out there as exactly who you are, they can't see you. You're going to keep getting in relationships with people who can't love who you are at the core, because you're not showing that.
Right.
And when I realized that there had been someone out there looking for exactly who I was the whole time, that I could find that kind of support and love and appreciation for just who I am and how I show up. I wanted to let every other woman on the planet know, sweetheart, there's someone out there looking for you. Let's get busy finding your partner.
Right. Just using your not only your skills, but just your experience and who you are to just make a true difference in others' lives. So you have a 12-week program. Could you tell us the name of it and what kinds of clients you would have in that program?
Absolutely. So I offer a 12-week mindful dating intensive. It's a group coaching program. And the women in this program are women who have struggled in relationships in the past. Many of them have struggled since early childhood. I have a lot of women who come to this program who had difficult or challenging relationships with parents or other caregivers, who have been divorced, who have never really been able to get married because they've ended up in like long-term relationships with non-committal people, narcissists, people who are avoidantly attached, and they're a little bit bruised. Their hearts are a little bit bruised. And when they come into the mindful dating intensive, first of all, it's like a wonderfully supportive community. I am very careful to select women who have a positive attitude and can support one another in that space. And they're all willing to do the work of really looking at what it looks like to clean up their lane and how to put themselves out in the world very authentically so they can draw in a true partner for them.
Wow. And what kind of results as you move through this 12-week program do your clients have?
Almost from the beginning, they start having breakthroughs. It's the thing that almost everybody notices by the second or third week is that other relationships start to change. They are immediately having deeper conversations with their family of origin or with their friends, more authentic conversations with their family of origin and their friends. They're able to bring a different perspective to challenging situations. People notice differences at work and that they're using these skills in the workplace. So right away, they are already shifting how they interact with the world and the way that they have conversations. That starts to happen immediately. They're getting in touch with what their core needs are. And it is amazing to me how many women have never even thought about what their core emotional needs are, or think they have no right to ask for what they need, or they shouldn't look to a partner for what they need. And realistically, we all have emotional needs. We have emotional needs that can only be fulfilled by other people. We're not on an island all alone for a reason. We're wired to be social and connected. So getting in touch with what really are the entry requirements to let someone into your heart, whether it's a friend or a lover or a life mate, what does it take to really develop that safe intimacy? And they start to get really clear on that. And it also shifts how they invest their time. They take their lives a little more seriously. They understand they're here for a reason. It's a really beautiful process. So that happens right away. And by the end of the program, they're super clear about who they are and what they want, very confident that there is someone out there for them, and super courageous about how they put themselves out in a dating setting, how they express themselves, just how they move through the world.
And so what would be one thing somebody could start on to because if you've dated narcissists, you've been in those kinds of relationships, you really don't know what your needs are because you're so busy walking on eggshells. Same with addicts. What's one thing that they can do to start understanding what their emotional needs are?
Well, I want to say mindfulness, which is why I have a mindful dating intensive. So inside my program, that's the very first step, is to develop mindfulness tools. And we use those the entire way through. And one of my very successful clients, Danae, who had a terribly abusive family, terribly, abusive relationships, said mindfulness was absolutely the key for her. So that is the very first thing I would recommend, because it's the launch point for everything else. And when you bring up narcissists and addicts, I do want to say that through the course of the dating program, there are a couple of other things people pick up along the way. Is it okay if I spend
Oh,
just a minute or two?
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So there are a couple of other things people pick up along the way that make them really unattractive to narcissists and addicts. And self-leadership is key. So the words I'm using, like calm, clarity, compassion, courage, confidence. Those are all indicators of being led from your deep core self, that part of you that's always connected to the divine, your soul, your energy source. It's inside everybody. We just don't always know how to get in touch with it. So we spend a lot of time building a really like a super highway to get back to self energy, back to your core. And when you operate from that place, narcissists don't find you appealing anymore. And that is the number one way to not get in relationships with narcissists, addicts, cheaters, liars, users, is to get there. And really stop looking for red flags, because if you're out dating looking for red flags, you're going to find red flags. You want to look for green lights. You want to look for signs that this person's safe. This person has the ability to be emotionally available for you. This person has an ability to make a commitment and a desire to do so. So you want to look for green lights, not red flags, because if you don't see the green light, you shouldn't go any further. You should assume it's a red flag if you're not seeing the green light. Don't go further. And the next thing we have is like seriously like proven strategies, really effective strategies for developing all the skills you need in a relationship and how to put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there from that place of self with your confidence and courage, again, that is like kryptonite for narcissists. They will stay away from you. And that's what you want. You don't even want them in your orbit. So the way to stay away from narcissists is to get very close to your own power supply, your own core self-energy. And I'm going to loop this back to the question that you asked to begin with, which is, what's the number one thing people can do? Mindfulness, because it is generating calm, which is a component of self-energy, and it is the gateway to more self-energy. When you get there and you're really solid in that place, then you date in a fully aligned way that is going to draw people and situations to you like a tractor beam. You are going to draw into your life the things that are a great match for you at your core, you at your most aligned with your highest values and your best strengths. So that start with mindfulness, work on the others as it comes along.
So it's all starting within instead of all of those outer things, the changing your looks, changing your, that one thing will make the difference. And this is not just about your dating relationships. What you're talking about makes this impact on all of your relationships, having narcissistic friends or whoever you have in your life, right? Because you not only draw narcissistic partners, but also when you're in that, you friends, just those types of relationships. So really this is, your program makes an impact because you start from within on all of the different relationships in your life.
100%. That is exactly what happens. And people do experience really big shifts because of it, because it does get you back to the core of who you are. And you start to see what relationships are no longer serving you. Even relationships with your place of employment. I've had people recognize, oh, I need to look for a new job. This job is sucking the life right out of me. And this job sucking the life out of me is actually like every partner I've ever been with. Unsupportive, overly demanding. This is like everything else I've ever done. This is like my mother. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this all over again. Enough, out.
Right. So this is really like making a complete change in your life. And I can say the same thing. You do, like, you can leave a job that is sucking the life out of you. And it may seem like the answer when you first get there, but if you don't make those internal changes, just like any relationship, it's going to keep happening the same. And then you can say, like, yeah, with relationships, I would just say I had a bad picker and not take responsibility that I needed to heal to get to the next. Right. So that's what you're doing, is just like making this complete impact on the every aspect of the relationships that people have.
Yeah. And what I'm finding, if it's okay to, is it okay
Oh,
if we go just
absolutely.
one step? What I'm learning as a dating and relationship coach, and it's what I suspected before, is that the whole idea of dating and relationships and partnership actually brings up the core issue, the very center issues that are super easy to avoid healing if you're single. And I was expert at avoiding it. and I've seen this in all of my clients, it brings up those core fears that we're not lovable, the core fears that we're not worthy. And that, when you start to address it, shifts the rest of your life. You might not even notice that that's why you're drawing in negative work situations.
Right.
Scarcity thinking, like all of this stuff comes up around relationships. And this is a beautiful opportunity to create true healing and unburdening in your system.
Right. Because your relationships are not where you're finding your worth. You found your worth within, with this healing that you're doing, with this mindfulness. And then it just expands out to your outer world.
Absolutely. And it shifts everything. So those are like, I've learned so much from my clients. I have amazing clients. I love working with them.
That's amazing. And you have the 12-week program. How
Mhm.
would people get in contact with you if they're wanting to work with you and work with your program?
So to work with the program, definitely reach out to me at bahiracoaching.com. There's a link there where you can book a free consultation. Also, check out my 5 keys to finding lasting love without losing yourself in the process, and see if any of that is resonating. And that will get you right away onto my mailing list. You'll find out about other free events I have to offer. And that free gift, when you sign up for it, opens the pathway to get a free gift every single day for a week.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And is that the free gift that you offered the clients? That
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone. So you'll want to click on her link that is on the page so that you not only get the 5 pass, but you also get the free gift every day. And is there any little nuggets you want to give us about what's something that we could do starting today to just make a difference in our relationships?
Today, sit down, set a timer for 5 minutes, and just notice what you're thinking.
That's
That's
beautiful,
it.
right? No big things, no heavy lifting, just sit down 5 minutes, see what you're thinking.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. Is there anything else you want to share with us? You have so much knowledge and skills.
Thank you so much. I do have a lot of knowledge and skills and a lot to share. I want to say that if this is resonating with you, and if in your heart you are aware of a desire for love and partnership, it's 100% out there for you, and that's why you want it. It's already here. The person, or you may have 7,000 possible people out there for you right now. They're here, and the universe would love for you, the universe, God, spirit, whatever, would love for you to take this next step of human evolution to create an extraordinary partnership, the kind of which we've never seen before. So if this is resonating, it's because it's for you.
Wow,
And that's what I want to leave you with.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And so if you're stuck in the kinds of relationships that we've talked about, really reach out, start with you, take the 5 minutes to sit down, reach out to Yael and get the the guidance and the healing to make that step to find that partnership that you long for.
Yeah, you can't heal relational wounds by yourself. So you're definitely going to want a mentor.
Right, right. Well, because you can't always see where your wounds are. And so the guidance just makes that huge difference in finding them.
Yeah. And the reality is, and this is what I suspected, this is part of the reason I wanted a partner, is that relational wounds require a relation to heal them.
Right, right. And if we isolate ourselves, it's not going to change anything.
Nope, it just keeps that wound there. So definitely start with the 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes a day, build up to 20. Look within, see how you're putting the world together, find your inner calm, and from that place of calm, reach out for the guidance you need.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for being with us today and for sharing all of your wonderful knowledge and the amazing program you have with our listeners. And we have been truly blessed by you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I'm the one who's been blessed.
My pleasure.